Hello, my name is Teresita Blanco Plays. Artsy Sister. We're gonna be starting with we're doing Time Princess, and we're studying the Romy and Julius storybook. It's basically Romeo and Juliet, but they're gender swapped. Take it for what? Moving along. And the people there talk like normal human beings. So you might actually understand what is happening. Unlike if you try to read regular Shakespeare. You buy your thumb at me, sir. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Whatever. Where am I? In a bedroom. It is exquisite, elegant, decorated with fresh flowers, ribbons, and against the walls lies a large bed with velvet curtains. This room evidently belongs to a lady. Uncle brought back a few researches from Florence. The cherry ice we had in Florence was a delight, and I'll bring you there one day. A blonde woman sits opposite the table, and she has a clear, pleasant voice, and it looks like we haven't finished eating our snacks. Florence, cherry ice. I'm in a storybook again. Oh, you haven't been out lately, and have you heard of the masquerade ball happening tonight? Are you listening, Romy? Hearing the name brings us scattered memories, foreign yet familiar. This is my bedroom, and I was born and raised in Verona. I have parents who love me, and close friends and trustworthy servants. And, Romy? The blonde lady seems concerned, and I realize I haven't replied yet. Oh, you mentioned trees in a masquerade, right? My reply just confirms my distraction, and she sighs and shaking her head. Are you still thinking about that terrible man? She grabs my hand and worry on her face, and her touch brings me comfort. I know her. She's one of my closest friends and a family as well. Her name is Bellona. That's me. What's wrong? Are you still thinking about that dolt? I don't know who she's referring to, and I can't recall what happened, but it feels like an embarrassing incident. I remember Ronnie confessing her feelings to someone and being rejected, and his name was Roscoe. Yeah, it's like, yeah, cause like Romeo and Juliet cause Romeo in the original one, he falls in love with Juliet because she catches him on the rebound. I'm fine, I'm not upset anymore. Bellona breathes a sigh of release and past my shoulder. Sure, there are many good men in Verona, and forget all about the duns. And you must be bored being cooped up and want to attend the masquerade ball with me. The ball you mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's a rare opportunity. And this time anyone, no matter what family they're from, can attend, and everyone has to wear a mask to avoid feuding. This time, family, feud. That's a TV show in the US, Family Feud. I have more questions, and it sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't piece it together. So, are you interested? Sure, why not? I'm interested. My memory is still foggy, and perhaps I can gather more information out about and piece together who I am. I would like to go, and who's hosting the ball? I hear a crash outside the window, which interrupts Bellona. And what's going on? There's a fight outside. Yeah, yeah, but so is the Phantom of the Opera. So she's a time traveling princess, and yet she can time travel to be with the Phantom of the Opera, and now she's a gender swap, Romeo and Juliet. Whatever, just go with it. Whatever, as following the rules of the multiverse, the back in time is probably a Romeo and a Juliet, but the gender swap. But maybe they did exist, and then Shakespeare just gender swapped them for the play. So then they'd be like the real Romeo and Juliet was one. Romy was male, was chick, and it wasn't Juliet, it was Julius. Oh, by the way. Bellona doesn't seem too perturbed. Oh, not again. What's going on? Your family's fighting the Capulets again. This is what she meant earlier about family feuds earlier. I can use this chance to get a handle on the situation. She was muttering to herself, but I heard her clearly. As long as this has happened before, this is normal for them. It could be something else. No, they got in a stupid fight because people were biting thumbs at them. I tried to sound as ambiguous as possible, and Bellona shuts her eyes in exhaustion, washes over her face. What else could it be? It's the same two families quarreling over something petty again. Two families, a family feud. I repeat this words in my mind, and suddenly the two names click. Montague and Capulet. That's right, I'm the daughter of Montague's family, and the Montagues have a long-standing feud with the Capulet. The two names jog my memory, but these memories are quite unpleasant and nothing like the warm ones I had before. Baseless accusation and reckless brawls terrify women and crying children, three soaked with blood. Romy, are you okay? Bellona's words snapped me out of my horrifying memory, and she looks quite worried. I'm fine. A group of men are gathered in the street near the building I am. Bellona, I want to go take a look. We're here. We're in the time period before the internet, so watching people murder each other in the streets counts as entertainment.
So is Romy and Julius?
Yeah.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
What are you saying? You're a Montague. You really shouldn't. I'll be back soon. Tell anyone who comes by that I'm taking a stroll in the garden. But I gather my skirt before she can finish her sentence, and she sighs and grabs my hand. If you must go, at least change it to something proper. You are a Montague, after all. I had no choice but to agree.
So who's gonna be doing the but sober like to you on the window breaks?
I don't know, there. Like, my brother Peter, who's gonna do this? But stuff beyond the window breaks. I mean, I guess it's just gender for me. And I guess it's gonna be very stabby, pointy. Or maybe after the last Romeo, their kids, after the last Romeo and Juliet, they try to have a new kid, and then since he was born in the swap gender, then they just say, well, we lost our son Romeo, so the daughter, the new kid, we just had to cope with the one we lost, we should name her Romy. Whatever. Otherwise. It's just kind of like when Vincent van Gogh was named after his dead brother, Vincent van Gogh. Whatever. It's incredibly crowded, and Bellona and I managed to squeeze in tiptoe to get a better look. Two servants are standing in the middle glaring at each other like feral dogs about to tear at each other apart. Come on, you couple in mud, I'm not afraid of you. Like, I get why the families are feuding, but, like, it's stupid for, like, the servants to, like, get caught up in that nonsense, you know? Unless the servant is a legitimate son of, like, the Montague, so he has, like, a blood reason to, like, get worked up over nothing. I mean, like, I never seen any servant, like, they see, like, the host killing each other, and then I'd be like, well, as long as they're paying my paycheck, leave me out of it. Whatever, I guess servants used to take their job more seriously back in the day.
Well, they think servants are mirrors to harm other people.
Maybe they got like an extra paycheck if they harm an enemy servant or something, you know. How a la Pokemon, it said that they're people.
I mean, Makuto was walking around with his servants and got into a sword fight.
Yeah. Come on, you couple of mud, I'm not afraid of you. You ruined my shirt, Montague swine. And as if I would touch your slobbery garments, blame it on the couple who stitched it. They're arguing over such a trivial matter, and this is insane. And last week they were arguing about who's biting their tongue at them. What the hell, man? I mean, if it was that Reese raised the middle finger, then whatever. Hey, guys, whatever, like, everyone was drunk by then because they couldn't drink, like, the water, so then they were wine drunk. That's why they were more fighty than usual, because everyone be wine drunk. I glanced at the people around me, and saw my murmuring with frowned brows while each other are looking on with relish, and many are taking signs, choosing to stand behind a servant to support them. No one is coming forward to stop them. Someone suddenly draws a blade. I won't tolerate this any longer. One of us will die here, and I swear on my honor as a humble servant of the Capulets. So be it, I'll crush you, defend Lord Montague's honor. He's putting my kids through college, so yeah. This isn't good. I clap my hands over my mouth and those terrible memories resurface. Baseless accusations and reckless brawls, terrified women and crying children, streets soaked with blood. This went in bloodshed, but no one seems to be interested in stopping them. And then there's the Godzilla guy being like, let them fight. Let them fight. They are encouraging them instead. I glaze at Pedona and she shakes with her head as she grasps my hand. There's nothing we can do here, Romy. We best go back before the situation goes dire. Move aside. A loud roar sounds and everyone freezes. A well-dressed man surrounded by bodyguards storms through the crowd, glaring at the two servants. He's a face I know well, and he's often stern, but he has a kind heart. Father, I hear talk of defending Montague honor, and instead of a gallant soul, all I see is a crowing waster. What the hell? What the hell is a crowing waster? See, that's when you see. Whatever, I guess. I guess it's that. Every time anyone does Shakespeare, like modern people be like, what the hell is he even going on? Please, sir, I couldn't stand by this Capulet Lola insulted the Montagues. Let's go, Romy. It certainly is a situation we should not be caught in. We're a woman, after all. It's indignified to be like caught between brawling men. You know? Historically speaking, whenever like a woman tries to interfere between two brawling, drunken guys, it ends badly for her. It ends like Pokemon the first movie. My brother looked at what was a crowning roster and he's like, what?
Misunderstanding and confusion, but the origin of the phrase are itself unknown.
It means misunderstanding or confusion, but even like the meaning of that phrase is nobody knows. Whatever. We're about to sneak away when another commotion occurs. Who is throwing their weight around, Montague? Capulet, ha! You haven't died yet. Ivan grasps on Montague's knee, and the other man, Lord Capulet, glances back at him coldly. He's not about to back down. I'll cling to the last vestiges of my life if it meant watching you go to hell. And don't carry such whole foolishly high, Montague. Haha, foolish. This is coming from a cowardly and incompetent Capulet. And what blustering words coming from a reckless fool. And who do you take me for, a coward, Capulet? Do you have the courage to duel me, old man? Where is my sword? Someone bring me my sword. Sir, Lady Montague instructs... Yeah. Well, it didn't happen in like the comic book version that I read of the Capulets and Montague, but...
So this is based on the comic book version?
Yeah, because... No, but because in the Japanese comic book version, the Capulets and the Montague had leaders that go fight each other, but never in the play version that they do on like the big TV. Or maybe the Japanese version of Shakespeare is different from the original? Whatever. Well, because the Japanese culture be very like, let them fight, you know. Time for like the boss battle. My brother cue the boss music. Oh. So Lady Montague instructed us not to bring any weapons out. And looks like the lady knows how incompetent you are with a sword. You. Lord Montague grabs a sword from the servant and brandishes it vigorously. Well, it's funny, I guess, because like Shakespeare also had like a lot of like random dick jokes. So if the wife knows how incompetent the husband is with a sword, doesn't let him use him. That's bad. That's the first dick joke. Well, aside from the tongue biting too. Whatever. Like for those that don't know, Shakespeare had 1,000 of dick jokes in like Romeo and Juliet. But they're hidden behind like flowery language, so you gotta like look real close to to recognize all of the profanity that he's spewing in there with fancy poetic language. Yeah. La Montague grabs a sword from the side and bangs it vigorously. Lord Capulet grins slowly and flattens into a grim line. You really want to do this, Montague? Cut the small talk, Capulet. You've been waiting for this. I suppose this is the only way to end this. This is bad. What can I do? And things have escalated far too quickly, and it's hard to watch others suffer in this field. And even worse when my father has chosen to step in. I have to stop it. I can watch him kill or be killed. Stop, everyone, stop. The crowd parades at his loud exclamation, and a frail old man hobbles into view, accompanied by a tall, strapping young man with the eyes like a hawk. Princess Carlos. Bellona curses, and I follow her lead. Yeah, this seems fun. This seems like the Japanese version of Romeo and Julius.
Romeo and Juliet. What are we even reading here?
Yeah, I know. It's from the comic book version of Romeo and Juliet.
Not from the playbook.
Not from the playbook. Well, are they there?
None of those characters are in the Romeo and Juliet playbook, but they are in the comic book, in the Romeo and Juliet comic book.
Yeah, but they have also the flowery language. Did they add more verses in Romeo and Juliet? Or maybe we don't remember since we read that thing in high school.
No, I remember.
Whatever. The two lords sheathe their swords and bow their heads towards the prince. Rise. Aren't you families tired of this quarrel and bloodshed, and how many years has it been? We Montagues pride ourselves on our honor, your highness. We must end this for the sake of the Montagues who have died. Many Capulets have died as well, your royal highness. I've seen it all, Montague and Capulet.
No, Carlos is the Prince of Verona, but they don't call him Carlos.
Okay, Carlos is the Prince of Verona, but they don't call him Carlos, whatever. Capulet blood and Montague tears. All of Verona, Montagues and Capulets are like my children. He's probably fathered them indirectly. In masquerade. I cannot bear to see my children strike each other down. Maybe the Capulets and Montague are like cousins or something. Princess Carlos wears a gentle, yet filled with such deep sorrow I can help but be moved by his word. For fame, status, and wealth, is it truly worth it, my children? And God sees all that you do. You're gonna go to hell for murdering each other over petty things.
What does the princess do say sacrifice?
We may look like animals to you, but this is an important matter to my family. I will never forgive the Capulets for dishonoring my brethren. I would love it if we could all live in harmony. The Capulets wish for peace, but the Montagues constantly need us, your highness. Oh, and now he's like acting, oh, we didn't start nothing, even though he goaded him. Their anger builds, and the Capulet and Montagues hands reach for their swords, ready to fight again. Stop. Just beside the prince yells, and he stands his hand on his sword, striding to the middle of the two lords. Stand aside, Paris. And who are you to stop this duel? This is France, and it's legal for us to bloody stab each other. Or is it Britain? I remember that France, they had to... Verona. Where the hell is Verona? Italy. Ah, yeah. So imagine the same symbol with a lot of hand gesticulation. And finger biting. Yeah, that would explain that you bite your tongue. Yeah, because when they do Shakespeare, they don't do it right at school. They gotta talk like Italians with their hands a lot. Did you bite your tongue on me, sir? Yeah. Who are you to stop this duel? Indeed, I do not have the right to interfere with your decision, but as a prince's sword, I am bound to eradicate the evil that dishonors the prince. Evil, and what are you saying? You do not have the right to. Even I can comprehend that this feud threatens Verona's peace.
Yeah, fun fact, Shakespeare never went to Verona in his life. He's just making all of this to go.
Like, fun fact, Shakespeare never left Britain. So he just making all of this stuff about how Italians fight all the time over petty things. Maybe Romeo and Juliet is actually racist. They about the British bad mouthing the Italians, cause because of Jesus or something. Because I remember that the British, they founded their own church because they got angry at the Italian Pope over, because King Henry VIII didn't want to let the king divorce his wife. So then he'd be like, oh, so you're not gonna let me divorce? Well, I'm gonna find my own religion if you're not invited, Pope. Whatever. And thus is an insult to the kind and benevolent prince. And what are you saying, Paris? The prince wishes you to take his words to heart, and if you insist on dueling, I will have no choice but to sully his highness' eyes with freshly drawn blood. Paris draws his sword, and many soldiers emerge from the crowd surrounding the two lords and their followers. And my heart is beating rapidly, and I can't tear my eyes away from the three men. After what seems like an eternity, Lord Capulet sighs and sheathes his sword. Pardon my impertinence, your highness. As Lord Capulet conceals, Lord Montague grits his teeth and throws his sword to the ground. It's your lucky day. Huh. Paris sheathes his own sword, and the soldiers retreat. They are no longer dueling to the death, and I let out a sigh of relief. Oh, thank goodness. Ah, my legs give out and I collapse, and Bellona grabs me before I fall to the ground. Are you alright? I hold on to her as I stand shaking and watching the prince leave. Who was a young man, Paris, and he called himself the prince's sword. He's the prince's nephew and the leader of his bodyguards. I see. The prince, Paris, and the two lords leave the scene, and the crowd together, however, remains gossiping in the street. Let's hurry back, Bellona. Bellona. Bellona or something. The commotion has subsided, and Bellona and I heave a sigh of relief and prepare to leave. Someone grabs my shoulder from behind. And what are you doing here? I'm surprised I turn and find myself confronted by a large man. Or basically what he's saying is, what are you doing here without the escort of a man, you woman? Because, like, you know, women back then weren't allowed to, like, wander about by themselves without their hubby or cousin or servant or something. You shouldn't be here. It's not safe. I know, but I'm not a child. I can take care of myself. I come from a long line of stabbing, murdering people. I can handle.
From Macbeth.
Bellona's from Macbeth. Wow.
She's the goddess of war in Greek mythology.
That she's the goddess of war in Greek mythology. There's no Bellona in Romeo and Juliet, right?
I looked up the character. She's called Bellona Briganton, and she's actually related to Macduff, which is from Macbeth.
Like Bellona Briganton related to Macduff from him, it's Macbeth.
Yeah, from Macbeth.
Yeah, whatever. They're mixing a lot of weird. This is the Shakespeare cinematic universe that we're seeing here. Like, as if all of the Shakespeare characters existed in the same time period in Verona. Whatever. Yeah, even though like Bellona's from the time of Beowulf, which is like 800, right? And like the Romeo and Juliet are like more Renaissance period, a little further forward. I know, but I'm not a child. I can take care of myself. He's just concerned about my well-being, but I lash out instinctively anyway. Wait, how do I know that? Fighting the moment you met, and the two of you never changed. Oh, so we know each other. The man lets out a sigh and he stares at us before sweeping his gaze across the street. Don't hang around here if you know it's dangerous. Let's go. The man escorts Bellona down several streets, and the atmosphere is awkward and stifling. Since you have time to be gallivanting around, I assume that the issue has been settled. Issue? With your cousin. After what I've gone through today, I completely forgotten about it. I almost forgot about that. I almost forgot who that is. Oh, so like she... The man eyes me suspiciously and he can't decide if I'm telling the truth. Oh yes, and she's gender swap Romeo. I guess she proposed to her cousin.
What?
Whatever. Everyone was marrying their first cousin back in the day. Like inbreeding was quite common among nobles, and the reason was that they didn't wanna give the money to outside the family. But the side effect of that is,
The Asper?
the Hasper, the Hasper jaw. The side effect was the Hasper. The Hasberg, yeah. No. Now there is one surviving Hasberg, and he's infertile, and he's gonna be taking all of that money to hell with him, or heaven, depends if he was a good person or not. Whatever. Don't stare at me like that, Lawrence. I'm not lying. Okay, so this is what.
Is that for Lawrence?
No, no, just on Lawrence. No, that's not like the priest person. But who's Lawrence in the Shakespeare canon?
From I think from Midsummer Night's Dream.
Like I think it's like from Midsummer Night's Dream because this Romeo, gender swap Romeo, doesn't have Mercutio as his sidekick. He has a lady in waiting and this guy, whatever.
Who wrote this?
Overwhelmed, I blurt out his name, and the memories come rushing back to me. Lawrence is the adopted son of the Bishop of Verona, and a friend I grew up with. Yeah, like bishop. Wait, but could bishops have?
Yeah, in this one, yeah, they could.
Oh, it wasn't. No, they hadn't. They hadn't officially banned Catholic priests from like having families, because I
No,
don't.
you can still adopt as a Catholic priest. You just can't have sex.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
jealousy that they can have.
Yeah. Like Catholic priests can still have adopted children back in the day, or even modern days, I think. But what they can is like produce children like the natural way, or get married and stuff. But yeah, if a Catholic priest wants to adopt a kid and like raise him and stuff and send him to college and pay to his college education, yeah, that's very possible. Yeah, and even priests make like salaries, so in theory they could like raise a kid if they want to do.
Some of them make more money than I do.
Like some of them made like probably made more money. Some Catholic priests they probably made more money than you do. So like the also poverty is optional in like the Catholic. They made a no on the mating, but you can have stuff. Yeah, humans can whatever.
Google, how much money does a nun make?
Google how much what's the most money that a nun can make. Or you Google it, bro. Lawrence is the adopted son of the Bishop of Verona and a friend I grew up with. So you just wanted to take a stroll, understandable? But it's really careless of you to show up in that area.
The salary is $40 an hour.
Like the upper salary of a Catholic nun, the average salary of a nun is of an ordained nun that already went to nun college and all of the other stuff and got all her vows is $40 an hour. So if you're struggling to make by, you may consider giving nunnery a try.
You know what? I'm done being an influencer.
You know, not being an influencer, joining a content. Bye. Bye. God bless. Alright, I'm joking. I'm back. I'm too sad in my ways. I only went because I was I only went there because I was worried about father. Worried about your own safety first. And have you thought of what might happen to you if the capital supporters realize who you are? Oh, well, that's enough. It was my fault, and please stop scolding Romy. Then again, I wouldn't have understood how bad the situation is without witnessing that fight. Yeah, because like since women were so shut-ins because, you gotta protect the purity and stuff, and God forbid a ray of sunlight blemishes their fairness, then like, it was very possible for them not to know that they even had, well, then again, like, like daughters were like cast aside and stuff, so whatever. Plus scurvy, you diseases and all, whatever. The relationship between the Montagues and the couple. And plus scurvy was a thing. It's a disease you get for not getting sunlight, so yeah. Relationship between the Montagues and the Capulets are more tense than I expected. And I racked my brain, but I can't remember how this feud began. And with much thought and unease, I turned to. I glanced at Lawrence only to find him looking at me too. What is it? How do you know I have a question? Every time you sneak a glance at me, you're up to something. It's not much, really. And I saw Father and Laura Capulet almost dueling out in the street, and I find their anger a tad ridiculous. Ridiculous? I know I shouldn't describe Father like that. But Verona's strife will never end if we keep making new enemies over old feuds. You're right, the people of Verona are stuck in a whirlpool of hate and they can't get out of it. Like, even in modern days, like people, like, even in this modern age, like, right now, this second, there's, like, probably people, like, fighting over very petty things that don't really mean anything if you, whatever. Lawrence signs heavily. We can't leave things as they are, and we need to figure out how to solve the problem at its root. The root will be toxic masculinity or like the 1400s. Yeah, good luck being a chicken trying to solve that back in the old timey days. It's a good idea to have Ronnie, but you are viewing it too simply. I know it's difficult, but I don't believe that the relations have worsened to the point where there's no room for mediation. Romy, do you remember the fight that happened 200 years ago because of two lovers who died? The fight in the street. Oh, so this happens after Romeo and Juliet.
So what? Or maybe maybe
Or maybe,
Tristan and Isolde?
or maybe Tristan and Isolde?
Which is impossible because Tristan and Isolde from the Roman times. So.
But which is impossible because Tristan and Isolde are from like the Roman time. Whatever. Words on the page may flicker to my mind, but they are just a blur. Perhaps it's been a while, but I can't remember when I read about it. You meant the incident with Master Montague and Lady Capulet. Perhaps Lord Montague didn't tell me the details to protect her. Even I don't know the full details of that incident. And what really happened 200 years ago. Back then, Master Montague and Lady Capulet were in love, but Lady Capulet was betrothed to someone else.
Wait, 200 years ago? Are they more than 200 years old?
I don't know. I guess after Romeo and Juliet killed each other in Shakespeare, the Capulets and the Montagues, they said, oh, we're not going to get along. But 200 years later, oh, we're going to murder each other. So they're still fighting each other even though they lost the head of each other. They lost their kids. Whatever. After their pleas went unheard, they decided to elope, but their plans failed and they killed themselves for love. The two lords were devastated by the news and blamed each other for their children's death, and there was a lot of fighting involved. The couple only died because they lost all hope and because their families' pedantic and stubborn views. The two lords should reflect on this and not hate each other. They were shrinking responsibility, and if everyone knew how to self-reflect, Verona would never fall into such a state. The two aristocratic families already had an existing conflict of interest, and the lover's death only served to fuel as a fuse to set it all off. And ever since then, this feud has become Verona's main source of trouble. Is there really no chance of turning this around? I can say there isn't. Business has been booming everywhere in recent years, and Verona is no exception. And those colonies are making us a ton of money. The Montagues and Capulets own many businesses, so having some business relations is a given. Logically speaking, this is a good chance to mitigate the situation and clear up misunderstandings. The reality tells us otherwise. The fight has increased recently, and it's not the first time two lords have come to arms. Why is that? Maybe because Lawrence pauses and looks up at the sky above. I follow his gaze and I see nothing except a clear blue sky dotted with a few birds. Stop trying and you can't see it. You saw an alien? I can see, but I can feel an evil presence looming over Verona. Okay, now I really think he's suffering for. Well, he's not. He doesn't seem like he's suffering from scurvy. I don't know, whatever. Sounds insane. Maybe too much of a wine drunk. Evil presence. I stare at the sky and I can't even see any sign of smoke, and I can't even see a sign of a smoky chimney, much less an evil presence. Lawrence, you are freaking me out. At any moment, you're gonna bring out your sword and turn into like a weird chimera horse. Cause remember, oh wait, I'm confusing Lawrence with Luke when the occurred. No, he should turn into a werewolf if he's the Lawrence from Bloodborne. Whatever, I'm missing the games. You mean to say that the cause of this chaos is something that we can't see or touch? The devil? How is that possible? Lovers can sense what we can, and there's nothing strange about it all. Maybe during the time period where people still believe that magic was real and they would burn witches for it. Whatever, let's not debate about magic or whatever. If he says he seems disturbance in the force. He was raised by the bishop and studied in a seminar, and he's more attuned to these matters than we are. Anyone who studied in a seminar, are you attuned to the weird evil forces lurking over the horizon? Put that in the comments if you can sense evil. Are things really that bad? Alright, stop forcing yourself to think about things that you're not an expert in. Stop thinking, woman. You haven't given me an answer about attending the masquerade or about the masquerade. Masquerade? You're going to the Capulets masquerade. Capulets, aren't they supposed to be my enemies? Bellona, you never told me it's hosted by the Capulets. Bellona sticks her tongue at me and takes my hand. I didn't mean to hide it from you. If it's not for the riots, I would have told you long ago. Don't be afraid, and once you put on a mask, who's going to recognize you? The host is also friendly to the Montague, so even if your identity is exposed, it will make things hard for you. You're talking about the Capulet's eldest son, Julius. Yes, that's him. The only didn't Romeo and Juliet also do? Didn't Shakespeare also do Julius Caesar? And we wear the eyes of Mars. Like I remember he did a play of that, and also Antigone. I remember suffering through that in high school. Like we're gonna whatever. I have a vague idea of who Julius is, but I can't find any memory related to him. Romy has only heard of this person, but she doesn't know him. Why is he hosting a masquerade? Cause it's literally the only thing to do before the age for the internet and television. That or watch people murder each other in the street while you goad them on and place bets. Let them fight style. It's Julius' 20th birthday today. So they aged him up.
Yeah, she's no longer a 12-year-old girl anymore.
Yeah, Juliet is no longer like a 14-year-old girl, and Romeo was an 18 or was young.
One of them was 14 and the other one was 16.
Julia was 14 in the play, no, Romeo was 16 and Julia was 14. It's your classical teenagers run away from home and hilarity ensues. It's Julius' 20th birthday today, and he wants to celebrate with all the youth in the city, but
what?
Youth.
Oh.
Yes, what you understood, bro? But consider the conflict between the two families. He came up with this idea instead. Sounds pretty interesting. And what do you think, Rami? Let's attend it together. Belladonna's eyes sparkle with anticipation as she invites me again. I look at Lawrence only to find worry in his face. Don't look at me. If it's up to me, I'd rather you stay home and don't go anywhere, like a good little woman. And don't forget the sewing. The sewing is very important for the woman's moral soul or whatever. Lawrence, you're a great person, but you're too careful. Julius is honest and warm, and he's very different from his conservative and stubborn father. And you already know that. You're still going to the Capulet residence, and not everyone welcomes Lady Montague here. Ronnie is smart, and she won't expose herself. And I'll be there too. And what are you afraid of? Lawrence and Belladonna bicker over whether I should attend the masquerade. The feud is complicated, and Belladonna and Lawrence get no closer to the cause of it after a long heated debate. And why not take a chance to try to understand the situation by going to the Capulet residence? I take a deep breath and break out the argument between the two, and by announcing my decision, start quarreling, I'll decide for myself. I will attend the Capulet masquerade. Masquerade! Every place a different face. Masquerade. Hide your face so the world will never find you. We're nearly dragged into a shop vandalism incident on our way back, and apparently someone from the Capitals was causing trouble. Lawrence takes Belladonna and me to our church to keep us safe. Have a rest here for now, and I'll check for any innocents got hurt. And I'll take you back to the Montagues when I come back. Lawrence reminds us repeatedly not to leave by ourselves, and then heads out with a box of medicine. I can't believe we encountered 2 fights in the same day. How unlucky. Fortunately, the church is the only place in Verona that's unaffected by the two families, and we're very safe here. I look around and realize the church is in a mess. It is? The prayer table has been pushed to the side, while the household goods in varying conditions and collective boxes line the ground. At least for a charity bazaar. Yeah, we've been preparing for it for the last few days. And Lawrence must be really busy, and he hasn't packed the supplies yet. Oh, like in the original place, Lawrence is a friar and a priest who's like 80, and an expert in poisons also. Whatever. That whole convoluted plan was his fault. Instead of being very convoluted about it, he should have married them and then like show them to both families. Ha! I married your kids under the eyes of God. Now you have to get along with each other. And she's bearing and your Capulet daughter is bearing a Montague son. Ha ha! You can't do nothing because I'm the Catholic Church. You have to put up with this, and then they have to find their own. And then since they can't do anything about the Catholic Church, then they create their own church with their own priests. Because that's the British way of like handling problems with the Catholic Church, to find your own religion.
With blackjack.
With blackjack. You remember like King Henry VIII with blackjack and hookers? Forget all that. But Adonis was brings back some recent memories, and Adonis then what she gathers the clothes scattered on the ground. Ever since her father, my uncle, passed away, Bellona has devoted herself to praying and helping the people, and she's become a regular at the church. Perhaps this is a way of dealing with the loss of her father. Well, I guess without her father, there's nobody to marry her off to someone. I'll help you. And there aren't too many things, but they are all over the place, and I moved to arrange the boxes cluttered about the altar. And I then noticed that the wall mosaic behind the altar is rather unusual. Our work in the church usually features stories from the Bible, but this mosaic doesn't. The knight in the mosaic is fighting a dark shadow. I wonder what it is. Could be a dragon.
This is a dress-up game, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be any dress up and get dressed up.
Probably be this is a dress-up game. It's gonna be any dress-up game. There was one a couple of chapters ago. A series of knocks on the door interrupts my thoughts, and Melona opens the window on the door and sneaks quietly to the person, and then turns and smiles at me apologetically. Something happened with the bazaar goods from my house, and I have to go check things out. Right now? And how about waiting for Lawrence before you go? I just asked the steward about the situation outside, and he said that it's still safe. Don't worry, I'll only be gone for a while. Alright, then come back soon. Time passed, and neither Lawrence nor Bellona has returned. And I know I promised Lawrence to stay put, but I think I'll head out, and I hope Bellona is fine. Alright, I have to change the outfit. Yeah. They change into from one inconspicuous dress to another. I walk around the church but see no sign of Bellona. Where could she be? Oh, I hear a loud thump nearby, and an old woman selling flour was pushed violently into the ground and the culprit is about to leave. Stop right there! I held the woman up while yelling loudly at the culprit's back. But he ignores me and keeps on going without giving a second glance and says, oh, you're a woman, what are you gonna do about it? I can't possibly go after him while supporting the old woman, so I pick up a rock and throw it at him instead. Ouch, that hurts. Rubbing his head, the man turns to look and I finally see his face. He's the capitalist servant who was causing trouble on the streets earlier. Well, you can really murder someone by throwing a rock to their head, like, the most infamous case is David versus Goliath. Just a kid went after a giant, he threw a rock really hard at his face and he murdered him. And then he decapitated him with his own sword just for good measure, just to, double tap.
I think the rock just knocked him unconscious and then the beheading also killed her.
Yeah, like my brother thinks that like the rock just knocked the giant Goliath unconscious and then what really killed him is like the decapitation. Usually that's the thing that kills people, the cutting the head part. Whatever, but there have been people that have been murdered by getting a rock really hardly thrown at their head, brain concussions. And this medieval era, there wasn't medicine for any of that. The guy who cut the barbershop guy, the guy that cuts your hair was also the dentist, was also like the guy that like did operations and he did all of the shit. Who did that? Apologies to the old lady you knocked into her earlier. My words fell on deaf ear, and instead he narrowed his eyes, scrutinizing me, and his gaze is unsettling. Ha! It's Lady Romy from the Montagues. He gave her the male gaze. Abruptly, he gives me an exaggerated bow and begins to make small talk in an abnormally loud voice. Why, you out here all by your lonesome, Lady Romy? Are you going on a date with someone? You loose woman. What are you saying? Are you lost? Shall I assist you in getting home? He draws near, he speaks, and is about to grab my wrist. Don't touch me, you lowly human person. I am a noble lady and you're a servant. I slap him reflexively and he retreats in shock. Well, look at this. The daughter of the Montagues is secretly meeting her lover and resorts to violence when caught. Well, don't go grabbing women that don't want to be grabbed. A crowd has gathered and some are whispering to each other. This man is trying to use me to tarnish the reputation of the Montague family. I must find a way to stop him. Throw another rock at him, maybe? The vile man is still blabbering at the crowd. And panicked, just like medieval slut shaming, what he's doing there.
No, it's just regular slut shaming.
Yeah, that's regular slut shaming. They do that even today. So yeah, just grab a rock. Fight
Hit him in the throat.
Fight him in the throat or something. Bite his thumb at him. That'll show him who's boss. Panic, I look around for something and pick up a flower pot that fell off the woman's flower cart. I guess knocking him out wouldn't prove my innocence. People would think I'm violent and that I did it out of guilt. Well, you are violent. I mean, your first, maybe she does have some of her father's blood in her because the first thing she thought of to solve the problem is to do more violence.
The first thing she did was throw a rock at him.
First thing she did is throw a rock at him, and now she looked for an even heavier object to throw at the guy just for like insulting her honor and whatever. So she's the same thing as guilty as the thing that her parents are, I mean, helpless and anxious, my heart begins to race, but then I hear a pleasant voice next to me. Here you are, sorry I kept you waiting. I'm the one meeting this lady. Seems like my arrival has caused a serious misunderstanding. Ah, you're... The Capulet servant suddenly stammered, and his face twisted into a strange expression, as he's just seen a terrifying beast instead of a handsome young man. What's come over him? Yeah, that's a bad bell placement over there. My brother says it's a bad bell placement. Do you think it's a bad bell placement? Whatever. It's a, well, don't mention it too much, cause like whatever. Google YouTube. I just put that back there. It's about time we put an end to this commotion. The young man speaks slowly and putting a finger to his lip as he does so. The Capulet servant nods to his head vigorously. Yes, understood, I'm sorry. Please don't hold it against me, and I'll be taking my leave. Before he's done speaking, he frantically escapes into the crowd and disappears. Like, God only knows what this Julius does to his servant for him to be very afraid of him. The Tiger Badge? Iron Maiden? Or maybe he uses the James Bond chair and a rope. You know, keeping it nice and medieval. Whatever. Look up the James Bond chair if you don't know what that is. Before he does speak, he frantically escapes into the crowd and disappears. Thanks for helping me. Don't mention it. Every man should do the same when they see a lady in such a situation. Besides, I think you'll deal with it. I think you'll deal with it in your own way, even if I hadn't intervened. He eyes the flower pot in my hand, half smiling. Ah, you do violate some people. I do violate some people too. We have so much in common. We like to beat about our servants. We like to do violence on the poor proletariat, as rich snobs used to do back in the day. And still do kind of, you know. I always try to laugh it off while putting the flower pot back on the old woman's car. Thank you for speaking out for me, kind lady, and I'm glad nothing happened to you. She looks like a witch and she even has an owl. No, seriously. Whatever. You scrape your hand, Granny, and may I have a look? And why would you be interested in these dirty, wrinkled hands? The young man insists on inspecting her wound, and with some hesitation the old woman agrees, and the young man then walks up to her and carefully lifts her hand. He tears his handkerchief in half and using the other hand to wipe the dirt and blood from her hand and the other to bandage the wound. And that's all of the doctor medicine that people near them is bleeding, so we just cover it up and hope for the best. Because there was, and if it falls off, you know, because there was no antiseptic. The antiseptic was leashes. At least put some whiskey on it or something, you know how they do in like movies whenever somebody gets a nasty wound. It's such a waste to use such a fine handkerchief on me. Don't say that. And this piece of fabric is nothing compared to what you suffer. And what happened earlier has nothing to do with him and why he's so apologetic. Could he be related to that servant? If you're referring to those people causing trouble around Verona wearing out, I'm used to it. It's rare to see such a kind youngster nowadays, and I'll repay the both of you for your good deeds. I can do that because I'm a witch. The old woman removes 2 stalks of red roses from her cot and offers one each to me and the young man. I'm just a poor old woman with nothing much to offer, but at least these flowers bloom well. No, it's not. No, it was nothing. There's no need for such a gift. Take it. The rose suits you. From the way the old woman is dressed, it's evident that she leads a frugal life, and the flowers must be her source of livelihood. I must pay her for these flowers. And I reach for my pocket only to realize that the daughter of the Montague family doesn't carry any money. Because women can be trusted with money. What now? I don't know, give her your hair headband, so your earrings. Thank you, these roses are gorgeous. And if you don't mind, I'll buy a few more for the beautiful lady. And as he saw through me, the man places a couple of gold coins on the cart and picks up a few more flowers. Take as many as you like. The old woman wraps the flowers into a bouquet and hands them back to the man, and she then bids farewell with a smile and leaves with her cart. I watch as the old woman leaves and then turn my back to the man. Show appreciation. You only bought more flowers because you wanted to pay her. You noticed, and thank you for keeping it a secret. That was very nice of you. And the man winks at me and then hands me a rose from his bouquet. Take this, beautiful lady. Wait, he's not giving me the whole bouquet, just one of the roses? For me? I wanted the whole bouquet. This rose is a tribute to your courage. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. I haven't got your name. Well, he drags out his voice playfully. I think you'll find out soon enough. Huh. And why is it being so secretive? Romy? A familiar voice calls out to me, and I turn to see Laura dashing towards me around the corner. I told you, Romy, don't live by myself because it's dangerous outside. Lawrence reaches me and examines me for a while, and he finally heaves a sigh of relief after making sure that I'm unharmed. I know I shouldn't have left the church, Lawrence, but I'm worried about Bellona. Bellona. She was taking inventory in the bazaar goods when I returned to church. She's back at the church. I guess I was worried over nothing. Relief I turned to bid the young man farewell, but he has disappeared. That's strange. And when did he leave? Who are you talking to? And what are these flowers? Lawrence points at the roses in my hands, and I hide them behind me and laugh sheepishly. Let's go back first. Rami, your family back. Are you alright? Pelona grabs me the moment I enter the church, and her icy cold hands catch me by surprise. I'm fine. What about you? You were out for so long. The new coachman parked the ghost carriage in the wrong place, so it took me a long time to hunt it down. And were you looking for me all along? I tell Bellona and Lawrence about everything that happened after I left the church. Those imprudent morons of the Capulet family. I'm sorry for not staying in the church as you asked, and I made you worry. I tug on Lawrence's sleeve while apologizing, and his face freezes and turns to face me with an unnatural expression. That's fine. All that matters is that you're safe. And besides, it's not your fault for what happened. Rami, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It all went well thanks to that nobleman, and there are many gentlemen like him out there. That's a pity. I don't even know his name. Didn't he say you'll find out soon? He was probably just joking. Alright, cheer up, and don't forget we had the grand masquerade to attend. Masquerade? Oh, that's right. I should head home quickly and get ready for it. Don't stay there for too long. And with what happened today, it's honestly not safe to be going near the Capulet house. Ron and I aren't dummies, and when we run away, it seems don't look right. Exactly. Don't worry, we can take care of ourselves. We can throw rocks really hard, and we carry rocks in our pockets. Let's go, and I'll take you home. The streets are peaceful again, and when we return home, and a beautiful rose-tinted sunset blankets Verona, and I look down from my balcony, secretly excited for night to fall. Alright, that's a good place to leave it. I hope you have fun with me reading Romeo and Juliet. Bye bye.